It's your brother K. Judah, giving all praise to the Most High Yah, in faith in Yahshua HaMashiach. To my Israelite family worldwide, I say peace and blessings. Christ is coming back to rule this earth with a rod of iron. So the throne of Christ shall be established with righteousness. Let's get it. Genesis 49 and verse 8. The book of Genesis, chapter 49, and your brother K. Judah, go pick it up at verse 8. Let me show you Yahshua HaMashiach in the Old Testament for all you Old Testament Israelites. Genesis, chapter 49, and your brother K. Judah, go pick it up at verse 8. And it reads, Judah, thou art whom thy brethren shall praise. Thy hand shall be in the neck of thy enemies. Thy father's children shall bow down before thee. Judah is a lion's whelp. From the prey, my son, thou art gone up. He stooped down. He croucheth as a lion, and as an old lion, who shall rouse him up? Yahshua gonna rouse us up. Verse 10, the scepter should not depart from Judah, nor a lawgiver from between his feet, until Shiloh come, and unto him should the gathering of the people be. We have to find out, who is this Shiloh that the people gonna be gathered to? Let's go to Hebrews chapter 1. Precept on precept, line upon line, here a little, there a little. Hebrews chapter 1. And your brother K. Judah, go pick it up at verse 6. Hebrews chapter 1. And your brother K. Judah, go pick it up at verse 6. And it reads, and again, when he bringeth in the first begotten into the world, he said, and let all the angels of God worship him. And of the angels he said, who maketh his angels spirits, and his ministers a flame of fire. But unto the Son he said, thy throne, O God, is forever and ever. A scepter, which is read that in Genesis 49. A scepter, which is read that in Genesis 49, of righteousness. It's the scepter of thy kingdom. Thou hast loved righteousness and hated iniquity. Therefore, God, even thy God, have anointed thee with the oil of gladness above thy fellows. So in Genesis 49, when it's talked about the scepter, we found the same thing in Hebrews chapter 1. This is none other than Yahshua HaMashiach. So K. Judah, you mean to tell me the Messiah was prophesied all the way in the book of Genesis 49? Yes. And even before that, Melchizedek, priest of the Most High God, is none other than Yahshua HaMashiach. Let's go back to Genesis 49 and get some more. Genesis 49. And this time, your brother K. Judah, go pick it up at verse 11. The book of Genesis 49. And this time, your brother K. Judah, go pick it up at verse 11. And it reads, binding his foal unto the vine, and his ass coat unto the choice vine. He washed his garments in wine, and his clothes in the blood of grapes. Read that again, K. Judah. Binding his foal unto the vine, and his ass coat unto the choice vine. He washed his garments in wine, and his clothes in the blood of grapes. Who is this talking about? Let's go to Zechariah chapter 9. The book of Zechariah, chapter 9. And your brother K. Judah gonna read verse 9. Zechariah chapter 9. And your brother K. Judah gonna read verse 9. And it reads, rejoice greatly, O daughter of Zion. Shout, O daughter of Jerusalem. Behold, thy king cometh unto thee. He is just and having salvation, lowly, and riding upon an ass, and upon the coat, the foal of the ass. We just read that in the book of Genesis, chapter 49, verse 11. And we just read the same thing in Zechariah chapter 9, verse 9. Who is this, K. Judah? Let's go to Matthew 21. The book of Matthew 21. And your brother K. Judah, go pick it up at verse 1. Matthew 21 and verse 1. Matthew 21. And your brother K. Judah gonna pick it up at verse 1. And it reads, and when they drew nigh unto Jerusalem, and were come to Bethphage, unto the Mount of Olives, then sent Jesus 2 disciples, saying unto them, go into the village over against you, and straightway ye shall find an ass tied, and a coat with her. Loose them, and bring them unto me. And if any man say aught unto you, ye shall say, the Lord have need of them. And straightway he will send them. All this was done, that it might be fulfilled. All this was done, that it might be fulfilled, which was spoken by the prophet, saying, tell ye the daughter of Zion, behold, thy king cometh unto thee, meek, and sitting upon an ass, and the coat, the foal of an ass. This is none other than Yahshua HaMashiach. You Old Testament Israelites did not know that Yahshua HaMashiach is prophesied in Genesis 49? That is him that the people should be gathered to. That is him who washed his clothes in the blood of grapes, talking about his second return when he gonna kill from one end of the earth to the other. That is him riding on the ass to coat the foal of an ass. Understand what you're hearing this day. Let's go back to Genesis 49. We breaking it down precept by precept, line upon line. Out of the mouth of 2 or 3, God let it be established. Genesis 49. And I'm going to pick it up at verse 12. Genesis 49. And your brother K. Judah, go pick it up at verse 12. And it reads, his eyes shall be red with wine. His eyes shall be red with wine, and his teeth white with milk. Who is this talking about, K. Judah? Let's go to Revelation chapter 1. Revelations chapter 1. And I'm going to pick it up at verse 14. Revelation chapter 1. You got all these people running around talking about the color of Christ don't matter. But if it don't matter, why did the Lord put it in the book? Why did the Lord tell us that he was so dark, talking about his feet, that it looked like he was burned in a furnace? If you put anything in a furnace, it's going to become very, very dark. So how you going to tell God what to put in his word? But you running around with a hippie all day. But you don't say nothing about that though. But as soon as we say he looked like us, a man with woolly hair, looked like he was burnt in a furnace, everybody has a problem with it on the earth because we are hated, Zion. Nothing good can come from Bethlehem. Nothing good can come from Judah. Did not they say that in the time of Christ? What good can come from Judah of Ephratah? Understand what you're hearing this day. Revelations chapter 1. And I'm going to pick it up at verse 14. And it reads, his head and his hairs was white like wool. We got woolly hair, but you going to talk about this, not talking about his hair. You have been woefully misinformed. His head and his hairs was white like wool, as white as snow. And his eyes, read that again, and his eyes were as a flame of fire. and his feet like a fine brass, as if they burn in a furnace, as if they burn in a furnace, as if they burn in a furnace, and his voice as the sound of many waters. Sometimes you gotta say things 3 times for the deaf and blind. Sometimes you have to say things for the deaf who cannot hear and for the blind who cannot see. This is talking about Yahshua HaMashiach, not no pale hippie. Now let's go to Psalms 72. Psalms 72. So we can show you that the throne of Christ will be established with righteousness. Psalms 72. And your brother K. Judah, go pick it up at verse 1. Psalm 72 and verse 1. And it reads, give the king thy judgments, O God, and thy righteousness unto the king's son. Who is God's son? Yahshua HaMashiach. Everybody thinking it's talking about Solomon. But this is talking about Christ speaking through David. Christ is the son that God say, I'm going to put him on my holy hill of Zion. Understand what you're hearing this day. Verse 2, he shall judge thy people with righteousness, and thy poor with judgments. The mountains shall bring peace to the people, and the little hills by righteousness. He shall judge the poor of the people. He shall save the children of the needy. He shall break in pieces the oppressors. That's not talking about Solomon, because Solomon ruled 40 years in peace. This is not talking about David. This is talking about none other than Yahshua HaMashiach. Verse 4 again. He shall judge the poor of the people. He shall save the children of the needy. He shall break in pieces the oppressor. Jump down to verse 7. Verse 7. And it reads, in his days shall the righteous flourish, and abundance of peace, so long as the moon endured. He shall have dominion also from sea to sea, and from the rivers unto the ends of the earth. Solomon never ruled unto the ends of the earth. David never ruled unto the ends of the earth. It's only one man that the Father is talking about, that he's going to allow him to rule from sea to sea, river to river, from the ends of the earth. This is none other than Yahshua HaMashiach. Understand what this book is telling you, you Old Testament Israelites. Let's go to Psalms 2 so we can show you this son. Because did not he say my son, the king's son? Who is the king's son? Let's see. Psalms 2. And your brother K. Judah, go pick it up at verse 6. Psalms 2. And I'm going to pick it up at verse 6. And it reads, yet have I set my king upon my holy hill of Zion. Yet have I set my king upon my holy hill of Zion. I will declare the decree. The Lord hath said unto me, thou art my son. This day have I begotten thee. You won't find one scripture where the Lord called David his son. But he did say, Solomon, your son, shall build my house. But I will establish his throne forever. It wasn't talking about Solomon, because he's dead. So whose throne God is going to establish forever? None other than Yahshua HaMashiach, the one you kick against every day. The one, he's the God from Genesis to Revelation. He's Alpha and Omega. He's the beginning and the end. Understand what this Bible is telling you, non-Messianics. Let's go to Jeremiah 33. Jeremiah 33. And your brother K. Judah, go pick it up at verse 14. Jeremiah 33. And your brother K. Judah is going to pick it up at verse 14. Jeremiah 33 and verse 14. And it reads, Behold, the days come, said the Lord, that I will perform that good thing which I have promised unto the house of Israel and to the house of Judah. In those days and at that time, I will cause the branch of righteousness to grow up unto David, and he shall execute judgment and righteousness in the land. In those days shall Judah be saved, and Jerusalem shall dwell safely. And this is the name wherewith he should be called. It say she, but as he should be called, the Lord our righteousness. The Lord our righteousness. Letting it be known that when Yahshua HaMashiach sit on the throne of his glory, he is going to rule in righteousness. This ain't talking about no David. He's no branch of righteousness. That's not talking about Solomon. He's not the branch of righteousness. It's only one man that's the branch. It's only one man that's the branch. And it's none other than Yahshua HaMashiach. Let's get this out of the mouth of 2 or 3. We let it be established. Let's go to Jeremiah 23. Jeremiah 23. And your brother K. Judah is going to pick it up at verse 5. Jeremiah 23. And your brother K. Judah is going to pick it up at verse 5. So we can get this out of the mouth of 2 or 3. The scriptures, let it be established. Verse 5, and it reads, Behold, the days come, said the Lord, that I will raise unto David a righteous branch. Not talking about David. He gonna raise up this branch unto David. Why? Because Yahshua HaMashiach come from the tribe of David, the lineage of David. Understand what you hear in this day. Verse 5 again. Behold, the days come, said the Lord, that I will raise unto David a righteous branch, and a king shall reign and prosper, and shall execute judgment and justice in the earth. In his days, Judah shall be saved, and Israel shall dwell safely. And this is his name, whereby he shall be called, the Lord our righteousness. Do you see? Out of the mouth of 2 or 3, we let it be established. Let's go to Isaiah chapter 9, so we can get to this child who's going to rule from sea to sea, river to river, from the uttermost parts of the earth. Isaiah chapter 9. Your brother K. Judah is going to pick it up at verse 6. Isaiah chapter 9. And your brother K. Judah is going to pick it up at verse 6. And it reads, For unto us a child is born, unto us a son is given, and the government shall be upon his shoulders, and his name shall be called Wonderful Counselor, the Mighty God, the Everlasting Father. Christ is our Father, but he's not the Father. Christ is our Father, but he's not the Father. Don't get it twisted. There's two in the Godhead, the Father and the Son. Read that again, K. Judah. For unto us a child is born, unto us a son is given, and the government shall be upon his shoulders, and his name shall be called Wonderful Counselor, the Mighty God, the Everlasting Father, the Prince of Peace. Of the increase of his government and peace, there shall be no end upon the throne of David and upon his kingdom, to order it, and to establish it with judgment and with justice from henceforth even forever. The zeal of the Lord of hosts will perform this. So this is talking about somebody that the Lord is going to raise up unto David to sit on David's throne. But a lot of people say, no, David is going to be king. You are absolutely correct. Because the Lord is King of kings and Lord of lords. He's King of kings and Lord of lords. Let's go to Luke chapter 1. Because the Bible just said, a child shall be born. A son is given. Who had this son? Let's go to Luke chapter 1. The book of Luke, chapter 1. And your brother K. Judah is going to pick it up at verse 26. Luke chapter 1. And your brother K. Judah is going to pick it up at verse 26. And it reads, and in the 6th month, the angel Gabriel was sent from God unto a city of Galilee named Nazareth, to a virgin espoused to a man whose name was Joseph, of the house of David, and the virgin name was Mary. And the angel came in unto her and said, Hail, thou that art highly favored, the Lord is with thee. Blessed art thou among women. And when she saw him, she was troubled at his saying, and cast in her mind what manner of salutation this should be. And the angel said unto her, Fear not, Mary, for thou hast found favor with God, and behold, thou shalt conceive in thy womb, and bring forth a son, and shall call his name Jesus. He shall be great, and shall be called the Son of the Highest. And the Lord God shall give unto him the throne of his father David, the throne of his father David, and he shall reign over the house of Jacob forever, and of his kingdom there shall be no end. So Isaiah chapter 9 verse 6 and 7 line up with Luke chapter 1 verse 26 to 33. The child that was going to be born is Jesus. The child that was going to be born is Jesus. And the child who's going to sit on the throne of David is Jesus. Understand what you're hearing this day. Let's go to Isaiah chapter 11. Isaiah chapter 11. And your brother K. Judah is going to pick it up at verse 1. Isaiah chapter 11. And I'm going to pick it up at verse 1. Isaiah chapter 11. And your brother K. Judah is going to pick it up at verse 1. And it reads, And there shall come forth a rod out of the stem of Jesse, and the branch shall grow out of his roots, and the Spirit of the Lord shall rest upon him, the Spirit of wisdom and of understanding, the Spirit of counsel and might, the Spirit of knowledge and of the fear of the Lord. And he shall make him a quick understanding in the fear of the Lord. And he should not judge after the sight of the eyes, neither reprove after the hearing of the ears, but with righteousness. Read that again, K. Judah. But with righteousness. One more time, K. Judah. But with righteousness shall he judge the poor, and reprove with equity for the meek of the earth. And he shall smite the earth with the rod of his mouth, and with the breath of his lips shall he slay the wicked. And righteousness shall be the girdle of his loins, and faithfulness the girdle of his ring. The Lord will rule in righteousness. It's too much wickedness right now, so the Lord has to establish righteousness. That's why I say his throne shall be established with righteousness. Understand this, Israel. Let's go to Isaiah chapter 16. Isaiah chapter 16. And your brother K. Judah is going to pick it up at verse 1. Isaiah chapter 16. And your brother K. Judah is going to pick it up at verse 1. And it reads, Send ye the lamb. Who is the lamb, family? Yahshua HaMashiach. Send ye the lamb to the ruler of the land from Salah, another name for Edom, to the wilderness, unto the mount of the daughter of Zion. It's saying, send you this lamb to the wilderness. Send the lamb to the wilderness. David is dead. Solomon is dead. Who is this lamb who gonna come to the wilderness? Jump down to verse 5. Verse 5. And it reads, And in mercy should the throne be established. And in mercy should the throne be established. And he should sit upon it in truth in the tabernacle of David. In the tabernacle of David, judging and seeking judgment and hastening righteousness. The Lord is righteous and he's bringing righteousness. The Lord is righteous and he's bringing righteousness. He's the lamb that's going to come from Salah. He's the lamb that's going to go to the wilderness of the mount of the daughter of Zion. Understand what this book is telling you. Let's go to Isaiah chapter 2. Isaiah chapter 2. And your brother K. Judah, go pick it up at verse 1. Isaiah chapter 2 and verse 1. And it reads, the word that Isaiah the son of Amos saw concerning Judah and Jerusalem. And it shall come to pass in the last days that the mountain of the Lord's house shall be established in the top of the mountains, and shall be exalted above the hills, and all nations shall flow unto it. And many people shall go and say, come ye, let us go up to the mountain of the Lord, to the house of the God of Jacob, and he will teach us of his ways, and we will walk in his paths. For out of Zion shall go forth the law. For out of Zion shall go forth the law, and the word of the Lord from Jerusalem. Y'all trying to go to heaven, and the Lord will rule from Jerusalem. You lying telling people you go to heaven, and the Lord is trying to come down to sit on David's throne and rule from Jerusalem. Now let's go, family, to Micah chapter 4 and get this out of the mouth of 2 or 3. We let it be established. Micah chapter 4. The book of Micah chapter 4. And your brother K. Judah is going to pick it up at verse 1. Micah chapter 4 and verse 1. And it reads, but in the last days it shall come to pass that the mountain of the house of the Lord shall be established in the top of the mountains, and it shall be exalted above the hills, and people shall flow unto it. And many nations shall come and say, come, let us go up to the mountain of the Lord, and to the house of the God of Jacob. He will teach us of his ways, and we will walk in his paths. For the law shall go forth of Zion, and the law shall go forth of Zion, and the word of the Lord from Jerusalem. Out of the mouth of 2 or 3, we let it be established. Let's go to Zechariah chapter 1. And I have one more scripture after this. Zechariah chapter 1. And I'm going to pick it up at verse 16. Zechariah chapter 1. And your brother K. Judah is going to pick it up at verse 16. And it reads, therefore, thus said the Lord, and return to Jerusalem with mercy. My house shall be built in it, said the Lord of hosts, and a line shall be stretched forth upon Jerusalem. Cry, yet saying, thus said the Lord of hosts, my cities through prosperity shall yet be spread abroad, and the Lord shall yet comfort Zion, and shall yet choose Jerusalem. So where do the Lord want to live? Where do the Lord want to live? Let's go to the last place. This is Psalms 132, and this will be last. Psalms 132. And your brother K. Judah, go pick it up at verse 13. Psalms 132 and verse 13. And it reads, for the Lord hath chosen Zion. Read that again, K. Judah. For the Lord hath chosen Zion. One more time, K. Judah. For the Lord hath chosen Zion. He hath decided for his habitation. This is my rest forever. Here will I dwell, for I have desired it. So do you see that the throne of the Lord will be established with righteousness? And your brother K. Judah want to say shalom.
Talk to him, Lou.
Shine, 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 shine on all of them.
Shine on all of them.
My homie said to shine your light, so shine on all of them. Climb,
Yeah.
climb. You were born to win. Don't let them make you colorblind and not adore your skin.
Hey look, we in the land of milk and honey, but ain't nothing sweet, these demons hungry. They go bananas for the money, but not me, I'm no circus monkey. It's crazy, it's crazy. No shaitan can drown us, we wavy. Too smooth to be fooled by fugazis. I guess that's all part of what made me shine, 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 shine on all of them. Shine on all of them.
My homie said to shine your light,
So shine on all of them. Everybody say,
climb, climb, climb. You were born to win. Don't let them make you colorblind and not adore your skin.
hey look, I seen so many come and go. It's hard to get change when you broke. My only goal out on the globe is not to let my soul corrode. The world can be toxic, especially when your skin look like chocolate. Be careful, all branches ain't olive. And look towards the sun for your solace. And shine, 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 shine on all of them. Shine on all of them.
My homie said to shine your light,
So shine on all of them.
climb, climb, climb. You were born to win. Don't let them make you colorblind and not adore your skin.
Hey look, shine,
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 shine on all of them.
shine on all of them.
My Umi said to shine your light, so shine on all of them. Climb,
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 climb.
you were born to win.
You are born to win.
Don't let them make you colorblind and not
adore
a.
your
Come on,
skin.
hey look, this little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. I said this little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. If you feel me, say this little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Again, I said let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Yeah. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Everybody say, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Talk to him, Lou.
Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Let it shine, shine. Let it shine, let it shine. Shine.
Talk to him, Dave.
Shine, 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 shine. Shine, 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 shine. Shine, 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 shine. Shine, shine. Shine, 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 shine. Shine, shine, shine. 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 Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine.
Talk to him, talk to him.
Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, yeah. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine.
Last time,
Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine.